welcome to Stop Now. I'm JK. Welcome back to the Call-In Show, Truth or Dare game show. And we have two special guests joining me this week. And oh no, sorry, I shouldn't be saying that like guests. They are my hosts, Nate and Melissa. Welcome back. My team is there. Welcome, Nate. Welcome, Melissa. Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us here.
Yes. I don't know, Melissa. He said we're guests, so I'm assuming that we can win prizes on this game show. That's why I'm here. I'm here to see what I can win.
Do I get a card? Because I need a new one. Let's go, JK.
Absolutely. Yes, you both can play this Truth or Dare and you can win the prize. And once again, this is our social experiment we have been doing for quite some time. It's getting up to the speed and it's on track, and we are getting quite a lot of traction on that, but still no big time with callers. And this is focused on callers. But anyway, before any callers join in, I will give you guys an update on what happened with JK profile, which we have set up, and interviews have been given, and offer has been already on the pipeline. So that's quite interesting, isn't it, guys? I got placed.
You got a job. Congratulations.
All right, now go ahead, JK.
All right. So this was the interview that I gave to the company Cognizant. Again, just reminding you, like, we are not picking on any one company, not big corporates alone. Everybody, it's a network of illegal activities, which they are justifying that as a business model. And to expose that, we set this up and we created this profile. We pushed through hard, and in 6 weeks, I would say, like, I'll be honest on that, because we are playing the truth or dare. I'm going to speak the truth. How can a fake person get a job? So that is the agenda, right? Yeah. So let me play this out. Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, lady.
Can you guys see this? Or, hi, Tara. How are you?
I can hear it.
I can hear it. Yeah, there we go.
Thanks for asking.
So, Tara, I would put myself on mute. Would you be able to let Laura and Abhishek in, or do you want me to stay on the phone? Are they waiting in their waiting room right now? I don't believe so. No, not yet. Oh, I think someone is. That's Abhishek. I don't see him coming up. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Hi, Abhishek.
How are you?
I'm good. We have is Laura going to join us as well, or should we get started?
Let's give her a couple of minutes and then we can get started.
Okay.
So this is what happened, right? It was almost a 30 minutes interview and a panel, like 3 people interviewed. And I sincerely take a apology.
I can kick it out by giving some background. And then, when she joins, we can, she can start chatting.
Yeah, that'd be
Does that sound good? Okay, cool.
This is more of an edited version. So just to let the viewers.
Well, all right, we're just going to kick off with some background over here. Cool. We are in the midst of an integration project, which is part of the Cigna acquisition that we did earlier this year, where we closed the deal, where we bought the group insurance business from Cigna, not their entire business, but just the group insurance part of it. And as part of this transaction, as you can imagine, we have several integration efforts that's currently underway. And one of the significant efforts that we are right now driving is around rebranding all the assets from Cigna to New York Life. And we are looking at approximately rebranding 1,400 assets with several thousand variations, which has combination of rebranding a bunch of documents, which could be PowerPoints, PDF, Word documents, anything that you can imagine. And then we have a bunch of systems that we also need to rebrand. And this would be vendor platforms, IT, which are like near life, IT platforms, and the work could be ranging from anywhere, just minor updates to templates that we are updating and uploading those, to actually revamping the entire system, revamping the rule engine, building in new frameworks for the rule engine to pick up and populate as it's generating content. So it's a range of different assets and different complexity of work that needs to get done with the material. Where we are right now is we are well underway with the work that's needed around the documentation. There is still some work that needs to happen on the planning side, of the documentation side, but generally we are fine there. On the system front also, we have, I would say at this point, about half of the systems we have a pretty good handle on in terms of the work that needs to happen, but still it's kind of pulling all that together, trying to figure out what the dates are, what the plans are, and what component will be delivered, getting a view into that. There are teams that are working on that, but they're putting together that entire plan, which shows an integrated view of all the systems that's going to be delivered, and the capabilities that's going to be delivered. That's something that hasn't happened, and that's the big piece of work that needs to get done. And then, of course, I'm defining all the interdependencies across the systems, across the different projects that are currently underway, and then tying all of that together and coming with the integrated plan. So that's the piece of work that needs to get done. So where we are looking for support is actually helping drive some of that work. We're working with vendors, working with internal technology teams, business SMEs to understand what the plans are around the systems, what needs to get rebranded, and then figuring out the timelines and the deliverables and pulling all of that together. So that's what the work entails at a high level. With that, let me just pause and see if there are any questions before we dive into more specifically a Q&A session.
You guys can understand that, right? I don't want to bore you with the full interview. Even with the start of it, like I got really pissed off. Like, what is this guy? Like, he wants to interview me, or he wants to already onboard me to the project. He was giving a big lecture, right, for 5 minutes. That's not usual. But then, no offense to that guy, I was going to say that, like, I sincerely apologize firsthand to both all those people who were on the panel, because they were not aware of it's secretly being recorded, and it is going to be published in the public domain. And it is in a way wrong, but then we don't want to justify that, because we are doing this as a larger good for the society. It's not targeting any one community, like, just Indians alone are doing this. You can see, like, the white lady is also there. So, so I don't want to pick on any one race, right? Even black peoples are there, right? One other guy, like, he was a manager who did abuse and did the wrong thing that led to this. And his name is Derek. You have any comments on that, Nate?
I mean, like, I think it's very interesting, like the way, we've since you first kind of introduced this experiment, JK, and that's part of the reason why I'm clean shaven. Like, this is the first time I've shaved in a year, because I want to make sure I'm going undercover. We're going to do it right, JK. But just kind of watching this and knowing the process that it took, for you to create the profile and to set these interviews up and whatnot. Like, why do you feel like they are behaving like this? And like you said, it's not just one group or just one company. It's a lot of people who are behaving this way. So, like, why do you think that this is how they're acting when it comes to these hiring practices?
Any guess, Melissa? Because my understanding was it's all the number game, right? So Profit is the ultimate motto. Profit, profit, profit.
It's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. They don't care about the people. They don't care about anything, right? So one other CEO, she was giving a big lecture, and I wanted to play that out as well. It's a heartbreaking thing. They just don't care about anybody else. Just for the profit, they hire and fire people randomly without any morals.
Mm.
So I don't want them to give justifications, but we need to seek justice for injustices that is being done in our society. So that is why, like, I will play this out, like the interview, but what happened at the end of it, right? So that's more important. After this, and I need to share that for you all to understand what exactly is happening there. So do you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
All right. So this is what happens, like within a week or within 2 days, it was by the company Cognizant, as I mentioned, and one other person who called me, like I'll play out that as well so that you both understand this. And he said, like, you have been selected for this job and we will do the onboarding for you. The offer letter will be sent to you by your employer. And he then asked me, like, did your employer contacted you? I said, like, no, because I don't have, how do I say that? Like, I don't have an employer. And then what happened? Suddenly somebody, like, I haven't heard anything from this company called ShoreWise Consulting. A lady reaching out saying that, hope you're well. Congratulations on your new role with our client Cognizant. I was unable to reach you on a call. I've attached the Cognizant forms here. Please fill them out and send it back to us at the earliest to initiate your client onboarding. Also, let me know what would be a good time to connect about this onboarding. Thank you. From nowhere.
Right.
Right? Somebody like jumps on and says, like, you have been selected. So where do you come from?
Yeah, that's weird. Like, who are you? How did you get my information? What do you want? That they're just random, a different company that just.
Well, and then I, you know, again, going back to kind of the conversations we've had, JK, about this experiment, like it's almost like they don't even care. Like they don't even care to check on you and your information. Like they just want to get, like you said, it's a numbers game. They just want to get as many people in the pipeline as they can because that increases their chances of making money.
Yeah, absolutely. See, this is what, like, I have been tracking it. And so when we do the experiment, we have to do our due diligence, right? We have to be careful on that. So that's why, like, I even removed my mask and put a happy face over here right now. I'll play this out like.
Hey, hi, this is Amol Jasinpuri. I'm calling from Cognizant Technology Solutions. This is regarding the opportunity what we have at our site as per your profile shared by your employer. Give me a call on my number 201377892. Thank you.
I'm calling from ShoreWise Consulting. I want to talk to you about the onboarding for your Cognizant project. Kindly give me a call back. I'm available on 248-236-1275. Extension is 1025. Thank you.
Hi JK, this is Priyansu from eSolution. I'm trying to reach you regarding your profile has been selected for technical project manager position with Cognizant. So please let me know when we can connect over the phone so I can initiate your paperwork. Thank you.
You can understand, right? So the guy from Cognizant, he left a voicemail. I desperately didn't pick those calls to get the voicemails recordings, right? And I don't want, like, to have all the recording phone calls to be recorded. We did that part as well, right? And we will play that out at a later time. So this is what happened. So the moment that guy informed, somebody else picked up, and that lady, like, she sends an email, and knowing that, like, I was giving my profile to everybody else, right? So the employers, the Cognizant employees also are involved in these activities. So they have different companies, right? So they say like, okay, this guy has got selected. Why don't we offer him something and get him on our payroll and get this contract? So probably they might be getting more and they will pay me less. So that's something what I was trying to figure that out. Meanwhile, this company was the one, eSolution was the one who actually submitted my profile to Cognizant. So which set up the interview with the end client. So the interview which you saw just now, like it was for New York Life Insurance. So that was the steps in which we were going. So after 2 days, I played along with that lady as well. And I said like, okay, fine, I'll submit those things, whoever you are. And I even asked that, I'll show you those things in a meanwhile. I asked like, how did you come into picture? Because I see that like you have not submitted my profile. Some other vendor who submitted, they are claiming that like also. And meanwhile, immediately this guy as well reached out saying, congratulations, you have been shortlisted for this. And we need to connect over the phone so that we can initiate your onboarding process. So what do I do? Like for the same position for one client, 2 vendors are competing saying that like I've been selected. So this is much more fun than what I expected. And then what exactly happened was they even gave the contract. I will show you the contract so that like people know what actually is happening, so that we are not making things up and we are not lying or things that are not true.
That's wild. Like again, the fact that this is a fictional person that is getting all this attention, and these companies like they're not even bothering to check, JK. It's just like we need to get this person in the pipeline because that means more money for us.
That's weird.
Exactly. They even gave me a date. 2 weeks from now, my background is not clear, and by May 17th, I have to join the projects. That's what they said. Like, let's see, like, let's play this out, like how I'm going to join this project. And so you can see the Cognizant consultant agreement they have given, and this they just don't care. Even the $1 billion company, they just don't care, and they just send it out to everybody else, right? The Shorewise Consulting, the lady who called, for that this agreement is. So they asked me to fill this long agreement, right? This is where the trap is, right? You cannot sue them legally, and they mentioned about the compensation, everything. It's a whole lot. Even I think attorneys will not be able to read this and understand. So the confidentiality is where the crucial part. You cannot disclose any of these things. So this is where like nobody is like, none of the Indians, why we call this as a modern slavery, and why the non-immigrants have no rights to fight against these injustices, because they cannot disclose these things in the public domain. And only thing is like they need to hire attorney who charges more to file complaint against these companies. And again, right, who wants to do it? Who wants to fight it out? And it's like so much is written. And the funny part is like they are mentioning about non-discrimination. I will take years to read this.
Yeah.
Funny part.
And especially like if you're somebody who's in the situation, JK, where you need a job, like you're not sitting there reading everything. You're just like, where do I sign?
Right.
Exactly. Right. So this is one portion of the whole lot of document they send it, right? So they send a document on certificate of compliance, and I need to sign all these things. I don't know whether I should be doing this or not. And after selecting a person, right? So what kind of weird practice is this? They're doing it is, so this is another one, right? They are doing a background screening, right? Verifying the social security and criminal background, everything they are doing this. Those are part of legal hiring process. And after offering me a job, they are asking me to provide my personal data and information, which they should be having it already. But anyway, that's the second agency that reached out. This was the original one, right? You can notice that like the company E-Solutions was a different one. This was a different one. So they just sent two different contracts to two different companies for the same person, for the same JK.
Oh, wow.
How can you even do this kind of fraud? I really don't know, right? I'm just honestly so surprised and also really mad about this. Like these guys have to be exposed. So that's why like I'm just playing this out, and maybe I'll play this part of the video.
At a high level, but you really have to work with the different SMEs to break down the work and understand what needs to be tackled in which way, and build an overarching project plan before then you go ahead and execute it. While some of our projects do already have those project plans, some of them do not, and that's what we would be part of this first part of the engagement, would be setting that frame at the right level in detail. Can you talk us through an experience that you've had doing that?
So this was the part like where I muted it out, right? So instead of me talking what I did, I just wanted to see their expression, like how I'm answering and what did I answer. I want the callers or anyone like who joins it, so they will get to know that like what actual interviews, how that happens and what questions they ask and how they can clear the interview easily, right? So that is the reason like I play this out. So you can notice their facial expression, reactions, and all those things, and that almost.
Sorry, I got disconnected for a minute and then I just got back in. I just heard in the midst of pandemic. That's pretty much what I heard.
Yeah.
I would say that right now we're working with like a hybrid model, right? We're kind of seeing when we'll be going back into the office, but I mean that's eventually hopefully going to happen soon. So I would say to plan on a hybrid model. Right. We're looking to make decisions fairly quickly, so it would be my expectation that you would hear back in the next week.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you for meeting with us today. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you all. Yeah. Have a good day. Bye. Just to validate that it was me and who did that.
That was undercover agent JK.
Nobody should say that like, okay, this is not you, right? How do we know that? And all those things.
What should I do later?
So
For PR, the same measure of trust.
So this is what we are going to do now, right? So now we have it, and you all might be wondering like, what are we going to do by this? Like, and this guy is the CEO of the company Cognizant. We had another story.
As Cognizant associates, we're trusted to make decisions, serve our clients, get our work done, and do the right thing, always. Put another way, our entire global business and our ability to accelerate our growth rests on a fundamental factor of trust.
You can see like how shamelessly he is lying, right? So where is the fundamental factor of trust in here? And how can I trust anyone in your company? And one of the story that was shared by another victim, which is a breaking story. We are going to break that in the next couple of episodes. He worked for Cognizant for 2 different clients for more than 3 months, and none of these vendors has paid him till date.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. Like, I even asked him, like, then why did you like even work for them in the first place? Like, they didn't pay for almost 3 months. And then when he raised that thing, escalated it to the management, to the Cognizant, then he got fired. They said, like, you dropped the bomb, you're out of it. So you just have to wait for 60 days, 90 days from the date you complete the work for a month. So that's what he was saying. And it's a shocking story as well. We are connecting to these CEOs and sending these videos to them and asking them what they have to say about it. That is the crucial thing what we are trying to do. Let's see how this goes. And hopefully we will have some repercussions, right? Some effects in those industries, like, and they will take care of other things.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you talk about truth or dare, you know, Melissa. Like I just seeing that clip of the CEO, and you know, not all CEOs are bad, probably, maybe, who knows, but just seeing, you know, we're built on a foundation of trust, you know, and this and that, and then kind of seeing and hearing the stories that we've heard from a lot of people out there. It's kind of like, you know, your actions don't meet up with your words.
Right. Definitely hard to trust any companies now, especially like, you know, big ones. Like, if I apply for you, y'all gonna try to take advantage of me? Like, it's really a crazy situation. You never know. And it's sad that they do this. People have families, lives, jobs that they need to have to pay for things. So it's an awful situation.
And we didn't get any callers so far. Hopefully this following weeks, they might, again, before we wrap that up, like, I didn't show you the background verification that is being done, right? So this is the 7-year criminal, 5-year employment background that is being done for JK. And that is one final thing. And if it turns out...
Hopefully JK doesn't have any felonies on the record.
I don't know how they are going to catch a non-existent person, and even if he has, right, anyone can commit in his name. So that is the fun part. So the next one is like for Nate. I couldn't get hold of Nate's profile because we have been flooded with more than 250, 300 emails so far. I am not going to do the same thing with Nate, but then I was trying to do differently and it's not going anywhere. So that is where, like, we are hitting the roadblock, and it needs a lot of effort. And that's why, like, we welcome volunteers who wants to volunteer and do this social experiment experience for yourself. And we will show you what is exactly happening in this industry. And it is kind of spreading across all the thing, right? So that is why, like, the billion-dollar companies have to be checked in balances, right? So otherwise, they just try to control everything and everybody else, right? And how do we even justify other things? Like, I don't want to go that route, right? So the questions comes to our mind as like, what can be done and whom to be blamed in this story. So nobody will be ready to take responsibilities. They'll say, like, oh, this is not my fault. This is the fault of the person who fell into this trap, and we have nothing to do with this. So are they going to take action on the clients, right? The big clients, are they going to take action on the vendors, and they are going to disassociate from them?
Yeah.
Like, it's not about cancel culture. Are they going to cancel the contracts with these billion-dollar companies, which will be a major blow, right? If they do that, so then they will take serious measures. And are they going to, these billion-dollar companies, are they going to check their employees and managers who are doing these subcontracting business and hurting people? Because if a honest person who wants to get a job, how do they do it, right? it's you and me like cannot get a job because of these kind of illegal things are going in the market. And these people are easily being pulled into it. And I can't even believe that like he's being offered like what, $65 per hour or something.
Yeah, and it's like we were saying a few weeks ago, you know, that there's a level of deniability for these corporations. You know, it almost feels like you know, like Lex Luthor on Superman, Melissa. Like Lex out here doing all sorts of bad things, but he's got these little people in the middlemen and the middle women in the middle that he can place the blame on whenever he gets caught. And so like these corporations can point the finger like, oh, it wasn't us. It was, you know, this recruiter or it was this company. And it wasn't our fault. We didn't even know this was happening when, like you're saying, JK, they know what's going on.
Absolutely. They definitely do that a lot when they get caught up in something crazy and they're going to place blame on everybody but themselves and throw all their people under them underneath the bus and like, oh, it was them. I had no idea what was happening here. That's unfortunate. And then, you know, they just pay off so many different people that they don't get in any type of trouble. So hopefully, you know, these companies will be held accountable very soon because it shouldn't be happening like this so frequently, but it does, unfortunately.
So with that being said, like we didn't get a chance to play the Truth or Dare. So where do we start? So do we need to start somewhere on this? Who wants to play? Whether Nate wants to play first or Melissa wants to.
Ladies first. I'm a gentleman.
Sure. I'll stick with truth. I'm not doing anything. So truth it is.
All right. Let me ask the question. All right.
Wait too long, JK. I'm a chicken out.
Okay. Nate, you can ask the question. Just passing it out.
Oh, let's see. What would you say, Melissa, what is the thing about yourself that you would change the most?
My procrastination. I wait till the last minute to do absolutely everything, and it's a problem. So I would change. I've been like this my whole life, and I need to do better, Nate.
It's procrastination, time management. Yeah, I feel you.
I'm trying though. But COVID definitely exposed the fact that it's awful. It is awful. And you know, working for myself for the most part, it has put me in some pretty bad situations. So I said, let me get my life together and stop procrastinating. But it hasn't happened yet. So I'm trying.
Okay, that's not fair. I just picked up a lot of questions. And
so now you got the questions.
Yeah.
I said my truth.
And Nate wants to be nice. Like now, let's go with Nate. Truth or Dare?
Let's go. Truth. I'm not scared. Let's tell the truth.
Okay. So Melissa, you want to ask the question or should I?
I don't know. What's the question?
Okay. What was the most embarrassing thing you have ever done on a date?
Ooh. That's a really good question.
I'm intrigued.
Yes. I think the most embarrassing thing I've ever done on a date was I had a little too much to drink, too much to partake one time. And so this was probably about 15 years ago. You know, I took a young lady out to this club in Virginia. I thought it was a club. It turned out she invited me to this place called the Casbah. I thought it was called the Casbah, Melissa, but she had an accent. I think she was, part French Canadian. And so I'm thinking she's talking about we going to this fancy club called the Casbah. And it turns out she was actually saying we're going to this place called the Cash Bar. And the Cash Bar was basically just like this shot house with just like I think I was like 20 something at the time, and everybody in there was at least 35, 40, 45. Like all the aunties and uncles was out here at the cash bar. And so I had way, way, way too many shots at the shot house, Melissa. And she had to end up taking me home. Like she had to end up not taking me home. She had to end up driving me home in my own car because
you were sloppy.
I was one drink away from being David Ruffin at this.
Oh no!
I was singing all the songs on the jukebox and just hanging with all these older like I said, older aunties and uncles out there, and just forgetting that that I was like 20, 23, 24 at the time, and just yes, I was in my David Ruffin mode. But let's like. Do you people know who I am? I'm Nate. Get Nate another drink. And so so she had to drive me home, JK. And let's just say that particular relationship only lasted maybe another week or two before we went our separate ways. So that was the most embarrassing date I've ever had.
Wow. I was going to ask, like, how do I even know that, like, you are telling the truth? But you have been, like, very honest, and nobody can doubt this. And thank you for sharing that, Nate. I thought, like,
well, that's the thing. Like, am I being honest, or am I just a really good storyteller? Maybe both.
Oh,
what's her name? Let me find her on Facebook. I'll find
with like names have been removed to protect the innocent.
That's funny.
So what do we win, JK? What do we win?
Yeah.
That is a good question, right? I mean, we just have to put a prize on each question, right? We haven't completed that. And if you are ready to do the dare thing, then we might say, like, you will win $100. And if you tell the truth, you will get $10.
Hey, the truth is only worth $10.
It's not even worth, Melissa. The truth is not even worth.
The truth isn't worth it.
Not even a penny. But we are just saying that, like,
that's what these companies are saying. The truth isn't worth it.
All the time, right? So have you ever lied about your age?
I was gonna say, when parents lie to their kids, is it really a lie? Just
lie to your kids, lie to your boyfriend sometimes about how much money you spend at the store, you know.
You got at least 30 days before the statement comes back.
He'll be okay. He'll be okay.
Okay, so what about the dare questions? Like, we can ask. You guys want to play the dare?
It got really quiet, Melissa.
It did. What did the dares consist of? What are your examples for the dares?
Okay, let me give you some examples. Find some lipstick and put it on.
I already did that.
You have heard it. Okay, write a short love poem. We can ask them to share the screen and show the link, so we can see, like, if people are watching porn.
On YouTube.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Depending on who you talk to, you might get very different answers.
Right. I would say go into somebody's browser history.
That's another good one.
Good God. You can't share everybody's. Lord have mercy. That's a dare. No. That's a dare for a lot of people I know.
So this one, I'm going to say this, like, you both have to do this dare, right? We will play this out next episode. Voice record yourself singing your favorite love song and send it to us. Send it to me. That's the dare challenge. If you both do that, like, I'm going to give you $100.
Say no more. I did that on my Snapchat.
I was gonna say, like, Melissa, like, yeah, for those that don't know, like, Melissa's out here on all the platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, just singing. So yeah, I think Melissa can do that easy.
Oh gosh, yeah. If I knew how to work a Twitter, I'd be on there singing too. It isn't good. I'm just gonna put that out there to everybody. It does not sound well.
Mm.
All right. So with this, we will end this week call-in show, and it was so awesome to have you both, Nate and Melissa. Thank you so much, and we'll be back next week to play more interesting stories and play the Truth or Dare.
Call in.
Absolutely. What y'all waiting for? Call in here.
Signing off. Bye for now.
I was gonna say that.